It doesn't happen when you're broke. It doesn't happen when you're struggling to pay bills. It happens later, quietly, almost invisibly, somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000. At first, nothing feels different. Your account balance grows. You feel a little safer, a little smarter, slightly ahead. And then, without warning, everything changes. Not because you suddenly became rich, but because you crossed an invisible line most people never notice. A line where money stops behaving the way you think it does and starts behaving like a system. Right now, something unusual is happening. More people are earning money than ever before. Side hustles, remote work, online income. For the first time, hitting $10,000, even $20,000 feels possible. But here's what no one explains. Getting to $20,000 is one game. What happens after it is a completely different one, and most people lose right there. Before this point, money is simple. You earn, you spend, maybe you save a little. Your biggest problem is obvious, not making enough. So the solution is obvious. Work more, earn more, upgrade your income. It's linear, predictable, and for a while, it works. But then you cross into 5 figures, and suddenly the clarity disappears. Because now, your problem isn't earning money anymore. It's what money starts doing to you. Here's the first shift. When you have almost nothing, every dollar has a job, rent, food, survival. There's no confusion. But once you reach $20,000, money becomes flexible. And flexible money is dangerous. Because now you have choices. Upgrade your lifestyle, take a trip, invest, start something new, do nothing. Every option feels reasonable. None of them feel urgent. And that's the trap. Because the system you've entered doesn't reward reasonable. It rewards positioning. At $1,000, your decisions barely matter. At $20,000, they begin to compound. Not dramatically, not instantly, but quietly and permanently. Spend it, and it disappears once. Invest it, and it enters a cycle. Markets, interest, inflation, risk. This is where money stops being static and starts interacting with time. Let's make it uncomfortable. You keep $20,000 in cash. Feels safe. But at 6% inflation, you're losing $1,200 every year. Silently. No alert, no warning. Just erosion. Now compare that to investing. Over time, markets might return 7 to 10%, but not smoothly. They fall, they crash, they recover, and suddenly, your money isn't safe anymore. It's exposed to volatility, to timing, to decisions. This is where most people hesitate because earning feels controlled. You work, you get paid, but growing money, that introduces uncertainty. And people don't like uncertainty, so they wait, they delay, they sit in cash longer than they should. And without realizing it, they've already made a decision. That's the first shift, but it's not the most important one. The second shift is more subtle and more dangerous. At this level, the system starts to recognize you, not personally, but financially. Banks treat you differently. Credit becomes easier, limits increase, opportunities expand, and with that comes leverage. Leverage sounds like opportunity, but it's really amplification. It scales whatever you're already doing. If your decisions are good, it accelerates growth. If they're not, it accelerates damage. With $20,000, you can suddenly control far more than $20,000. Through loans, credit, financial access, you're no longer just managing your own money. You're managing borrowed money. And that changes everything. Because now, mistakes don't stay small. They compound, slowly at first, then all at once. This is the part no one emphasizes because it's uncomfortable. It requires a different way of thinking. Before this level, effort is enough. After it, structure becomes critical. How you allocate, how you manage risk, how you respond to uncertainty. This is no longer theory. It's the game. And there's an irony here. The same system that creates opportunity also creates pressure. Markets reward action, but punish hesitation. Debt accelerates growth, but introduces fragility. Cash feels safe, but quietly loses value. So now you're in a position that isn't obvious. Every choice has a cost, even the ones that feel safe. And this is where most people make a mistake. They keep focusing on income, work harder, earn more. It worked before, so they assume it still works. But the game has already changed, and they're still playing the old one. Because after $20,000, money isn't just something you earn. It's something you position inside a system driven by timing, incentives, and scale, a system that rewards understanding more than effort. And if you don't adjust, you don't fail all at once. You drift.